All right, so you're in the tech corner, and we're looking into technical news that is the latest technical news around the world, and we're going into also we're gonna look into some information from um, electricity forum on some latest news that are out there. And one of the news that I'm looking at is news here in the USA, news from Texas, right? Texas will start billing electric. They will start billing these electric vehicle drivers an extra $200 a year. And so this sort of news here, they will bill electric vehicle drivers an extra $200 a year. I know that a lot of people sometimes they're out there and say, look, you know, those people who are purchasing Tesla, they have a lot of money and so forth. But who are we to be the judge, right? Who are we to be the judge in that way, right? So out of Dallas, they say Plano, with his Plano resident Tony Federico bought his Tesla 5 years ago in part because he hated spending lots of money on gas, right? But that financial calculus will change slightly on September the 1st. Come September the 1st, this this sort of rule is going into place, right? When Texas will changing, start charging electric vehicle drivers an addition fee of $200 each year. So this is like a tax now, right? So we are already paying taxes on a lot of stuff, and so now if you have a Tesla, you'll have to pay $200 uh, a year. Is this fair? Let us discuss this, because is this fair for the Tesla owners, right? People who own Teslas, right? Because look, this guy is saying it just seems like it's a arbitrary, with no real logic behind it, right? Said Federico 51, who works in information technology. But he said he will have to go ahead and pay this sort of fee, right? Because he cannot fight it on his own. Um, why don't we have those public stations that are in the public, that each Tesla cars might it might be in a mall where you just go up and you plug in. Those are free, right? But why don't we, instead of charging those people $200 per year, because you're saying that they're moving away from gasoline, right? And they're not paying taxes for utilizing or using gasoline. So therefore now they're free from that. But at the end of the day, this thing should be a plus for the electric vehicle drivers in terms of emission free, right? Vehicles that is saving the planet, right? And this should be something additional and something helpful for our planet. So why are we going? Why is the Texas government, right, gonna pass this law, right, to charge those EV drivers $200 per year? And I see that is a lot of money, man. Why don't we do something different? So this law is earlier this year, state lawmakers passed Senate Bill 505, which requires electric vehicle owners to pay the fee when they register a vehicle or renew their registration. It's being imposed because lawmakers said EV drivers weren't paying their fair share into a fund that helps cover road construction and repairs across Texas. Man, you know, this is something that we have to really who's streaming, and let us just discuss this thing, because I think it's unfair, right, on the EV drivers, right, and even on the company that's Tesla company that's selling, because you're gonna find some people that I have to do all of this sort of in terms of maintaining my vehicle as well, batteries, all that sort of money that I have to spend. Now I have to spend an additional $200 on on paying the government for this for my vehicle when I go ahead to register it. So this is really unfair, right? And I think this Texas agency estimated in a 2020 report that the state lost about an average of $200 per year in federal and state gasoline tax dollars when an electric vehicle replaces a gas fuel one. Ma'am, this should be a plus for Texas in terms of the atmosphere, in terms of protecting, the environment, right? This here should be a plus. And I think a lot of people probably don't have confidence with the electric vehicle that is reducing emissions, right? That is protecting the planet, right? And why not implement something else in terms of, okay, I'm charging my batteries at these power stations, right? And I assume that the government might not have nothing to do. Um, they might not get anything from these stations, but these stations are in the malls, it's around the public, and they're there where the electric vehicles can plug in. Why not charge just a fee for those? I sure they might be charging a fee for those chargers that are around in the vicinity, in town, in the various areas in the public, right, in the malls. And so I sure people are getting fees for erecting those. You're just not gonna go and erect a charger, right? Even in the universities, right? Because I sometimes would go around certain places like Stony Brook University and so forth, and I'm seeing they have charging stations there for EV drivers, and why not just charge? Well, this is only in Texas. Why if Texas want to charge the get something from, because they're getting reduced in terms of the EV is moving away. These drivers are not using gasoline, so they're not paying taxes. But all right, with the charging system, pay a small fee, like 10 cents for 3 hours, 10 cents for 4 hours or something. Get some money there, right? Instead of charging the drivers $200 per year, right? For this sort of this sort of for every electric vehicle that is out there, right? This is a lot of money. You have, let us say, you have like 100 persons, um 100 persons purchase electric vehicle within Texas, right? 100%. That is like $20,000 a year, right? The federal government is getting, right? On this on the vehicles, right? That should never be, because the vehicles that these EV the electric vehicles are doing a great uh, deal for the environment. They're cutting back on emissions. So why the Texas government is doing that? I This is something for discussion, right? This is something for discussion. So this is one of the latest news, and they said gasoline taxes go gasoline taxes go to the state highway fund, right? Which the Texas Department of Transportation calls its primary funding source. Electric vehicle drivers don't pay those taxes. Because they don't use gasoline. But what about those areas where they're gonna be paying, they enter in different areas and they have to pay a fee, right? Just like the other cars, right? But this is unfair. This sort of fee is unfair. The $200 fee, and let's discuss this. All who are streaming, hit me up on this $200 fee that Texas is now charging electric vehicles. Right, you're going to be coming out. That rule going to be coming out on the September the 1st, right? And so this is the news from Tech Corner, and now the EV drivers will have to pay $200 a year every time they renew their registration. They'll have to pay that. What I'm suggesting, it's like a parking meter, right? If they go different places, then they have to park. They still have to pay the parking meter, right? Why not give a small fee on the public chargers where they have to charge a vehicle, right? Just a small fee on that, right? That's a small fee, but $200 a year is a lot of money because you still have to maintain your electric vehicle, right? You still have to maintain your electric vehicle. How how important, right? It is for those vehicles in terms of cutting back on emissions, right? Helping the environment. That should be a plus. I'm against this $200. I don't think they should go ahead and do this, right? They also mention in the news, they talk about Texas has a limited incentive that could offset the cost, right? It it offers rebates of up to $2,500 for up to two 2,000 new hydrogen fuel cell, electric or hybrid vehicles every 2 years. Adrian Shelley, right? Public citizen Texas officer director recommended that the state expand the rebates. Well, that is something that can help, right? Expand the rebates, right? In the Houston area, the dealer Stephen Wolf isn't worried about the fee, deterring potential customers from buying the electric Ford F-150, Lightning, and Mustang Mach E vehicles. He says electric cars are already more expensive than comparable gasoline fuel cars. That is what he's saying, right? So people are going there, going to their extent to buy. So therefore, you might find that a lot of vehicles, electric vehicles, might not be purchased in Dallas or in Texas in the whole, right? Because of this fee. Because the people might say, look, I already have to do a lot of work on in terms of service, battery, all of those things. At the end of the day, right? Service on my electric vehicle. I'm spending a lot of money. I'm spending a lot of money first to purchase a vehicle because it's more expensive to purchase an electric vehicle than a gasoline vehicle, right? There's more money you have to spend out there, right, to purchase an electric vehicle. So that is one of the latest news. And well, what you think about that, right? What you think about the $200, right? That you have to that is being imposed on the Texas drivers, electric EV drivers for that they have to pay $200 a year, right? And then you have these gas electric hybrid vehicles. The gas electric hybrid vehicles get a boost in the U.S. from Ford others, right? This is in New York now, right? Hybrid gasoline electric vehicles may not be dying right as fast as some predicted in the auto sector's rush to develop all electric models. Ford Motor is the latest of several top automakers, including Toyota and Stellantis, planning to build and sell hundreds of thousands of hybrid vehicles in the US over the next 5 years. Industry forecasters told Reuters. Right, the companies are pitching hybrids as an alternative for retail and commercial customers who are seeking more sustainable transportation, but not may not be ready to make the leap to a full electric vehicle. Right, so hybrids really serve a lot of America, right? Said Tim, Tim Grisky, right? Senior portfolio strategist at New York based investment manager Ingalls and Snyder, right? Hybrids is a great alternative to a pure electric vehicle. It's an easier sell to a lot of customers. All right, so this is the one from also in the US that they're talking about those hybrid vehicles, right? So that's the latest news, and you're in the tech corner, and we're looking at various news this morning. And what about they're also looking at data show clean power increasing fossil fuel decreasing in California. Data show clean power increasing, right? Fossil fuel decreasing in California. So look at the solars, right? So data from the California Energy Commission highlight California's continued progress towards building a more resilient grid, achieving 100% clean electricity and meeting the state's carbon neutrality goals. Right? So this is good. This is good. Analysis of the state's total system electricity generation reports show how California's power mix has changed over the last decade since 2012. Solar generation increased nearly 24 fold from 2,609 gigawatt hour, right, to 48,950 gigawatt. Wind generation grew by 63%. Natural gas generation decreased 20%. Coal has been nearly phased out of the power mix. Look at that, right? So coals are actually out. You don't have any sort of coal mine there anymore. In addition to total utility generation, rooftop solar increased by 10%, generating 24,209 gigawatt hour, right, of clean power in 2022. The state's expanding fleet of battery storage resources also helps support the grid by charging during the day using excess renewable power from use in the evening, right? So that excess renewable power for use in the evening. This latest report cards show how solar energy boom as natural gas power electricity experienced a steady 20% decline over the last decade is encouraging, right? Said CEC Vice Chairman Siva Gunda, right? Even as climate impacts becomes increasingly severe, California remains committed to transitioning away from polluted fossil fuels and delivering on the promise to build a future power grid that is clean, reliable, and affordable. So coming back to this thing with the in Texas, right? $200 on electric vehicles. That's $200 per year, right? Because they're not using gasoline, which is that is something that is open for discussion. I think that the Texas governor or the federal agencies over there, they should look into this. Let they have a discussion with the open public and see what society is saying about this sort of $200, right? The car is already expensive, right? Each car that is being purchased, put the taxes there, right? The taxes are already there on the car, or puts an additional tax if you want to charge, right? But that's going to be a one-time charge, right? But you have cars going to be people going to be purchasing cars steadily, right? Put the taxes there if you want to put taxes on thing on these electric vehicles, right? And so, what you think out there about this sort of tax that is being imposed on electric vehicles in Texas? Because they have look what California is doing, right? Look what California is doing with solar power, clean energy, right? And the data show clean power is increasing, fossil fuel decreasing in California, and that's something that is a plus, right? You saving, right, the environment, right? You saving the environment, and California already have all these sort of all these fires that are going on in California also, right? That will reduce, you want to reduce emission, you want to protect your, the the whole the surrounding the atmosphere, right, from all of from fossil fuel, right? So it's important, and I think that should be a plus for every person who are trying to save the planet, right? That should be a plus, right? So you putting up you erecting a solar panel on your home, that is a plus because you're looking to save the planet, right? Uh, Come on, not only save the planet but save us because we're inhaling all of these bad fuels, the emissions in the air, right? All these fossil fuels that are burning, and you have all these contaminants in the atmosphere. That the atmosphere can become, cleaner by reducing emissions, right? You understand? And I think people would start to, we will live longer, right? We will have all of these sort of asthmatic conditions and people who are suffering from these sort of problems, right? Um, are we trying to see how these people who are being suffering from asthmatic condition who are being affected by the surroundings because of pollution? Are we doing something for them? Right? And so it's important as well. Are we doing something for those people that is being affected by the bad emissions, right? Because of fossil fuels being burned in different areas and all of those things, right? You understand? You have older cars that are giving off, heavy heavy soot and carbon into the air and all of those things. I think that they were talking about eliminating those cars, right? That have those sort of condition. Even the trucks, right? They have these after treatment system that are helping the system as well, right? I'm still seeing trucks, right? While I'm driving in New York, you still have trucks that are not being applied, the emission or the exhaust system are not being updated with the after treatment system, and that after treatment system is a very good system that will help control emissions as well, right? But they still have a lot of people. Some of those vehicles that carry the after treatment system now you're finding that people are stealing them off of the cars and the buses and so forth, right? And so there's more security is needed, right, to able to protect these systems because people are stealing them because they now realize, some people know that the material, the things that they have there, they can get money from them, and that is not good, right? Because this is a saving the environment, and there is something that we have to do to protect uh, people vehicles from getting vandalized with these sort of problems, right? People are going and just cut them off, right? The emission system, right? They have these after treatment system that are even on generators and so forth, right? And then they're on trucks, right, to help to cut down on emission, right? And try to save the planet and save the surroundings. It's helping, not only, it's helping us to survive longer, right? Those after treatment system, and that is something important. So I would support people who are going and erecting now their solar energy panels on their roof and so forth. Go ahead and do that, right? To help to cut back on any sort of fossil fuel, uh, you know, in the environment, because the environment is heavily polluted, and people are getting sick on a daily basis from a lot of airborne diseases, right? And so we're in the comfort zone and we're about to go. I do hope that you enjoy the rest of the day and God bless you. See you on the next Tech Corner.